Hello everyone, how are you all doing today? I do believe we have all 14 drivers. Yes, well done! We have all 14 drivers. That's right, let's go sort this out. Hello everyone, how are you all doing today? My name is Nin and welcome to the final race of the weekend. Division 1, Round 2, we're at Fuji. Who's found the barrier early on? So this is practice. JM Devil, currently fastest, Kate O'Brien further back. It's going to be an exciting one today. We've got a newcomer, Heavyhead. He had to back out. He never raced round 1. So, we're going to be fearing this one. Where is he? This man here. You may recognise the name, SVV. You may recognise the name. We've got another SVV guy. He's looking... We don't know how quick he is. I don't know his pace. I've just been told he's on the same level as Ruben. So, there's no more independence as Casey goes drifting at the edge of turn 15. There's no more independence anymore. JD Shadime and Santos have teamed up to make the Shadime Racing. Getting the social media post down because you probably are able to schedule. I don't know how. Clipboard pose. Bang. But how you all doing today? Hello Phil, hello GT Sport MX5 Cop. How are we all doing today? Get the stream sharing out. We've got something special planned. Get drawn and get watching. It's going to be a good race, I believe. I mean, yesterday was a bit of a mess. We're hoping to bounce back from yesterday's utter, well, trash kind of a race, as I try my best not to swear today. Apparently there's money if I don't swear, so let's wait for online cruiser. But yeah, Devil currently fastest in practice. Ruben has set a time. Ruben's actually not the fastest. That's interesting. Devil currently fastest. Brian, he's in second. Tim, my personal driver of the week. Yeah, last week. Qualified last. He was back of the grid in 13th, but managed to scrape points. I believe that is an amazing effort. My personal driver of the week last week. But our opinions vary. Who's your favourite? Who do you believe? Does Devil? No, we never really... It was going to happen, but because we never officially got round to it. But I think we'll just let him get away with a We'll let him get away with a warning. Because they were sorry, but if it happens again, if anyone does it, not just them, if anyone does it, then yeah. But I think because it took so long, because not everyone gave an insight at the same time, it was so delayed, so... Let's actually get the link shared to my mom as well, because I know my mom wants to watch. We're almost ready to go. But so we're almost ready to go. Santos has died. So... Everyone get the stream shared out. Get it shared out, sent out to everyone. Get everyone watching, get your mates watching. Share the stream out. We've got big stuff planned. If you're not watching what you're doing, you should be watching. But looking at the time so far, I mean, the gap between Rolly, like, look at here, right? The gap between Rolly and Tim and Brian, big difference. Devil, he's gone back to the garage, so we'll just wait for... Santos rejoined. Let's see, let's wait for Santos. No, Darnarod's also unreadied himself. 5 minutes for latest. So we continue, please share the stream out to everyone, right? We want as many people watching as possible. Let's try and break a record. Our record for peak viewership, what, 28, I believe? Let's try and make it more than that. How is everyone doing today, though? I mean, podium predictions, chat. What would you say your predictions are? What would be your predictions for quali? There's a lot of Germans here as well, I've just realised. Right, Santos is back. Has everyone... Let's go make sure Dino still not ready to. Hopefully before quali we can get more people in here. We don't want it to be a dead race on viewers. We want people here, we want people watching. Santos loading up, Dino still needs to ready up. Now if that practice is anything to go by, Ruben's been a bit off. Ruben, Devil, JD, ooh. Hello, Marcus. I mean, we don't... Ento might be quick. Brian's pace might be good around here. I mean, Brian and... Dino might be quick. I mean, the Corvette has dominated. The Corvette has been the quicker car. Division 1 and Division 3, it was a Corvette 1-2. No, the Corvette won the race, but Cam messed up. Let's go, just make sure everyone's ready. But it would have been a Corvette 1-2. The Corvette was the quickest car yesterday. Maystow, if he didn't do that weird pit stop, if he didn't free stop, do one lap on the mediums when the mediums were just fine. The Corvette has been quick all this week. Dino, he may be someone that can challenge. I mean, he was quick last week at Bathurst, but we know the Corvette's good at Bathurst. But everyone's ready then. No take backsies. Brian, sorry, doing some donuts. So then, qualifying. It's gonna have a better race than we did yesterday. It was terrible yesterday, but here we go, Van. German Turismo. Well, it's Gran Turismo Euroleague with a Canadian. Real fun getting out the pits, I believe. No restarts needed. So then, round 2 of the GTEL Division 1 Championship qualifying. We are away. Who is first out? I believe it was Case. So there's a lot of people are in the pits. It will soon sort itself out. Who's where on track? Santos has a problem. Yep. So we are restarting. That is Santos having a bit of a mess. So then, sorry about the delay. Welcome to Gran Turismo, the game that does not like to run properly. Santos. We'll just wait for everyone to restart and back out. Tim, Vaseline Cart. Everyone just needs to cancel their entry. For once, Casey's actually been quite quick getting out. Casey's not been the last one to do it because he takes forever to clock it into his brain what to do. So waiting on Santos, Tim, and Mr. Osaka. Just Santos. And Santos is the one in the pit lane with the problem. Is Santos able to... Oh, this is interesting from Santos. I'll tell him to restart his game. Oh, there we go. Just as a precaution, let's quickly... Sorry about the delays, everyone. Welcome to the game. We'll just tell him to restart it. Teresa says connection problem, so everyone gets a bit more qualifying practice. That was a bit of a weird... we've seen them where they'll just go up and hit the walls. Again, yes, Santos, he's having problems. Santos needs to restart his game. Santos, restart your game. He hacked the game, there we go. So we're going to have a few minutes delays, I do apologise. Hello Blair's video channel. But yeah, Santos, that's a weird one. I've never actually seen the glitch like that before. I mean, I've seen it. We've seen it where they'll just pull up the pits and hit the barrier. But he was doing full-on donuts in the pit lane. I mean, that's weird. How's everyone doing today though? 21 people in the stream, hello. Let's try and reach 100 subscribers. We're not going to reach it today, obviously, but share the stream, man. Let's try and get as many people watching. Just got a message from Casey. He's going to quickly have a break. He's going to go do something. Share the stream out to your friends. Share the stream out. Get them subscribing. Get them joining the server. Let's try and... We want to hit 100 subs by the end of the season. That would be lovely. Let's try and get peak viewers. Let's try and get 30 viewers today. Over 30 viewers, peak viewership. It would be nice, right? We'll make up for yesterday's shocking race. So we'll give Casey a few minutes to return. Devil, he starts his flying lap. Brian behind him as well. Brian. Yes, yeah. So Donald just saying his team will be back. So let's have a run through the teams if you're new here. JM Devil, actually, let's load up the standings as well. That'll be helpful. I could drive in the pit. Has he got it fixed? Wait, Santos is out. So let's go through the teams then. Let's go through the drivers and teams. If you're new here, because there may be some new viewers, it would be nice if we have new viewers. If you're new here, say hello. If you've never watched a race, GTEL, it's amazing. Div 2, we're not perfect. We do have some cock-ups here and there. They're not intentional, obviously, but it is what it is. They're not. We're human. We're not perfect here, but nonetheless, the racing is amazing. Div 3, amazing. Maybe not so much Div 2. Div 2 yesterday was not. I am just trying to find the actual spreadsheet that JD made. Where it... JD. GTL standings and grid. Thank you, JD. I'm sure I have access to the SSRL standings as well. Right, here's the funky sheet that Jerome has made. If it will bother to work, right, it is so slow, it's very big. Season 2 Division 1, if it wants to not be terrible. Standings, then, it's not gonna load. It's... Ooh. Here we are, right, SVV Ruben, he's on top with 15 points. Who took fastest lap last week? Fastest lap, JM Devil, so he should actually be on 13 points. Our Ruben should be on 17. Actually, that may be in what JD's done. So, if we move along here, what does it say? No, it does not. Right. Anyway, if you're new here to GTEL, Brian is going to spin all of the race. Yeah, it's Brian, he normally does. Second shot then. SVV Ruben, he leads the championship on 17 points. Got pole last week, that's 2 extra points in pole qualifying. You do get 2 extra points for taking pole. Devil, he's in second with what will be 13 points, and then Santos, he got a nice podium, getting 10 points. JD and Dino, 4th and 5th, Brian 6th. Tim, online Croy, so you ran third for half the race. He admitted it wasn't really his position to be racing in, but he gets 7th anyway. That's 2 points for the Motorsport West team. Terrible Tim, he, after starting at the back of the grid, got points last week. That's impressive. And Vasily Clark, Mr. Osaka, Casey and Rolly all pointless. And Ento, this is his GTL debut, so he's also pointless. Let's get qualifying on the way. We hope for no more problems. But anyway, GTL Division 1, Round 2. Qualifying at Fuji Speedway. Beautiful backdrop of the of Mount Fuji. Is everyone out safely? Please. A lot of people also, we say this every qualifying session, people out early. Why? Why? I don't get being out early and my keyboard's not going to work properly earlier. It was a bit of a problem. I mean, if we go into second already, I mean, it's not fully updated himself, but on the minimap, this massive train, yes, slipstream down the big straight is what you want. That will be very helpful, because it's about 1 kilometre long, this straight at Fuji, but then for everywhere else, dirty air in the final sector is terrible, and through here where Casey, as the person was spectating, he disconnected last race. He's going to want to have better internet connection this race and get some points. He had problems yesterday as well in Division 2 when he was standing in. Not finished race in Season 2 yet. He's going to hope he can do it. And through 100, you don't want dirty air through there. That is terrible, turn 4. And for this final sector as well, we'll see Kame O'Brien going through. He's going to be the first set lap. Kame O'Brien always eager to get out and have the lead. Get some clean air. Maybe through the final sector, people are going to back off and give each other space. But this is not the sort of thing we want. Devil and Tim. If Tim's quicker from on Devil, they're going to end up fighting. We saw it yesterday in Division 2 quali. They was going side by side. They was racing. Rolly trying to get something into his tyres. So the B&Rs, maybe giving each other a bit of a slipstream as throughout the straights, it's very helpful. Well, it's 10 minutes, but it's actually quite a short lap. And people like Ruben, I think Ruben may be at the back here. If it won't show. Unplug my keyboard. You gonna work now? There we go, yeah. Ruben, Ento, SVV, they got last. Look, they give each other space. Ruben's just coming through the middle sector. Ento, you want clean air. Because if people go off ahead of you, yes, that slipstream may give you an extra second, but would you rather have a solid lap and not risk running into someone? You don't want to have these fights going on as further back. Tim and Devil giving each other a bit of space finally. And then ART boys, they may be working a bit of a slipstream plan here with Casey and Dino Rod. Both slightly different ART liveries. They're both beautiful. I prefer Dino's. Not because I like Dino more, even though that is true. Sorry, Casey, but we all know it. But they're both very good. But I just like Dino's that a little bit more. I think the heavier contrast of the white, and then also the black rear, that purple for the Apex Racing team, Rolly, he's had enough. Let's see if we can get a replay of that. Or was he just pulling over? Really, Rolly and Devil, this is the sort of thing we're on a... No, he's just letting the faster cars through. Maybe it's a disconnect problem. I thought there might have been a bit of contact between himself and Devil. But alas, no, I was going to say, that sort of thing can cause problems. But Rolly, this lap's going to be a write-off. But Kame O'Brien is on a fair amount of clean air. The guy behind won't be getting slipstream. But down towards the line then. Expected qualifying time, high 136, across the line for Brian, it's going to be a 138. Devil, he's going to the top straight away with a 37 flat. So, Casey, he goes into second with a 38 flat, then Dynarod second with a 37.0. Rolly, after he pulled over, he goes dead last, but that's a slow time to be expected. Online Kreuzer, 38, 37.7 for Mr. Osaka. That's a flying lap for the German. Scored no points last race, getting some points on the board now, is going to be happy with that. Ento across the line, where's he going to go? He goes into he goes 5th with a 50, well, it's fine, Ruben, if it will let me. Ruben across the line, people are predicting him to be the pulsar, he's looking quick, what's it going to be across the line? He goes second with a 137, with a for 1:37.6. I'm looking at the wrong place for the timings. Everyone's timings apparently the same. So Devil after the first run, he goes top. He's going to want to claw some points back after he had a chance to fight for the win last race. He didn't, but he's going to want to claw that back. Mr. Osaka didn't score points. That's a brilliant first lap from him. A 1:37.7. These numbers here, it's a handful to say. I'm gonna be honest, but it's a good qualifying session from him. Dynarod in 4th. We expected him to be somewhere near there with the Corvette looking strong this weekend. He qualified 2nd. He almost took pole last week, and he was really impressed with that, beating out Devil and nearly beating Ruben. He was really impressed. But around the final turn, we've already passed, half the grid's already passed the Div 2 qualifying time, and I expect Devil to improve a bit more and go into the 36s. Dino into the pits, everyone getting some fresh rubber. The slipstream may help. Ruben may have gone in front of a fly. It's short enough here, you could probably get 2 laps out and then be in at the same time. They probably would be, say, on a track like Bathurst or Suzuka, where it's a bit longer lap. Or Spa. Spa's a very long track that we do here. But nonetheless, Ruben, I think he may be on a fly, not a cool down, but maybe just on a fly to get into the pit straight away. JD, a 1:38.5 puts him down out of the top 8. He's going to want a better race. Across the line than Ruben. Maybe he's gone purple, maybe he thinks he's quicker across the line. Does he improve? He does, and he goes 2nd, a 1:37. That's... He needs to find less than a 10th on Devil to improve. Devil, he's on an outlap, so he just pitted. No one's really cautious on the outlap either. People wear their tyres in quite quickly. They don't really bother trying to get heat into those tyres as well, so the first sector, if you've got cold tyres, you can find yourself going a bit deep, and if you go off onto the grass, that's your tyres dirty, and there's really no point going for a hot lap on those tyres. Brian, he's in 7th, also on an outlap. Is anyone on a flyer? Online Kreutzer, he's coming through turn 10, 11 and 12 up towards turn 13 and 14. This middle sector very tricky. Uphill slightly off camber, turn 13 through 14 and now turn 15. Again, quite sharp, quite blind, and that's what can happen if you put the power on too soon. Turn 15, you brake too late or you put the power on too soon, you're going to be drifting. Too early or too late, and then you're losing a lot of time. Mr. Osaka, he's further back on his teammate, so online Kreutzer, he's not really going to be gaining any time, but Mr. Osaka, is he green as he's in the slipstream of his teammate up towards the line? Is he going to improve? Let's find out. Across the line, he does not. So 1:38.5, so it's slower. Online Kreutzer, though, does improve, however, into 7th. Online JD Shadaim, he's down in 9th, and came on Brian in 8th. Terrible Tim, he sets a solid lap, putting himself in 10th, I believe that was. Yes, he's 10th. 1:38.6. Everyone is quite close here. The gaps between drivers, the gap towards the front is fairly big to be expected, 1.5. It's not massive, but here's a big slipstream train. Vaseline-Koch might want to get out of the way for his teammate. Santos, he got 3rd last week. He sets a 1:37. OTBC, he sets a 1:39.4. I think that's... He goes 13th. PPL Rolly, I want to keep saying Pappy, but I don't know why. Rolly, he's yet to set a quick lap. As he pulled over, he's coming through 100R. 2 minutes to go in the session, so expect about 2 laps for people. Vaseline-Koch out of his lag issues, came up Brian as well, might want to hurry up through. He's got a nice tow from Devil. Let's see what the split time is for Brian. And he's green by a 10th. Where will that put him? That will put him into 7th. He will gain a few positions as he comes up the hill then. Vaseline-Koch further back. Devil ahead though. The provisional pole man is actually further back, so I think Devil's bailed from this lap. Mr. Osaka is coming round the final turn. It's online Kreutzer though, who's going to be the first to set their penultimate lap then. Across the line for online Kreutzer, what's it going to be? Does he improve? No, he's 2 tenths off. Mr. Osaka, he's a 2nd off. Further back, JM Devil, he's coming across the line. Came on Brian as well. What's he going to say? Is he going to improve? He's got to improve from a 1:38 across the line. He does improve into 6th, so even beat Casey as he finds 4 tenths. Devil's not going to improve. Rolly, where does that put him? Puts him 12th. Everyone else went Dynarod. Is he going to improve? Santos has a massive slipstream from Dynarod. He's actually on an outlap, so Santos, he's gone slower, but he's going to have a big slipstream pull all the way down straight, so I think Santos has a bit of a problem on his lap. Goes Dynarod on his out lap then. He starts his final lap. He needs to find a second as Santos sends it down the inside, and that's going to be Dyno's rate. That might have to be looked at. That is poor by Santos, I must say. A bit of a flash by Dynarod, just to say, what the hell are you doing there, mate? That, if we go back, what's he really doing here? I mean, doesn't show us much. But as we can see, all we see is Santos late on the brake, sends it. I think that is quite dirty there by Santos. That might be protested at the end. And it could be argued that Santos did that intentionally, because look, who's ahead of Dyno? Santos is ahead of Dyno. And Santos, I mean, it's a small gap. It's just over a tenth. I think Dyno may give him... Dyno's a kind guy. I don't think he will really give him a push. Won't intentionally ruin his lap, but that dive bomb, he angled it. It wasn't like the Dyno broke too early. Santos sitting down the inside quite unfairly. Tim, he improves into 8th with 1:38.2 as JM Devil, he improves his lap time. Came O'Brien in 6th down towards the line. He can't improve. JD Shadaim, he improves to a 9th with a 1:38. Ento, he's down in 10th and not in a point scoring position. Dynarod then, he's gonna not gain anything after Santos. Santos, he doesn't improve either. OTBC, he improves, I don't know where. Ento, where does Ento go? He doesn't improve. Ruben, can he take pole? No, he's down. Casey, he's also got a penalty, so this lap won't even matter anyway. He's down in 7th, so Devil on pole. Actually starting from 2nd on this track, yeah. I mean, being on pole, you can close the door quite quickly though. It all depends on your start time. It's not like Bathurst where 2nd was definitely the play. But then Devil on pole, followed by SUV run on the front row. 2nd row locked out by Mr. Osaka after a brilliant qualifying from Motorsport West, and Santos of the Shadine Racing. That's going to be disputed. Donald came up on row 3, and Casey and Tim row 4. Tim had a better qualifying, but it's an all German row 5 and 6, and then further back OTBC and Vaseline Cox look out for 2nd row of the grid. 1 lights, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, all of the lights are on then. And we are racing here at Fuji for round 2 of the GTEL Division 1 Championship. It's a brilliant start by JD Shadine then as he pulls out as they run down towards turn 1. Mr. Osaka's a bit of a poor start. He moves across on Santos, almost hits him there. Santos going to try and go down the inside for the lead into turn 1. Santos dive bombs it. Santos, that's an intentional dive bomb. What's Santos done there? Santos intentionally tries to ruin the race. Ruben's going to take the lead, but that's poor by Santos. Watch out into turn 3. Santos going to do it again. What is he doing? That is poor by the Portuguese driver there. Ento's got himself up into 5th, and Devil's now got himself down 6th after that turn 1 incident. What's going on there? Ruben then leads as Brian's got himself up to 2nd. That's a brilliant start there by the Estonian. Mr. Osaka, he's dropped down to 4th as Donald's got himself into the podium positions. JM Devil though, what was Santos doing there? Donald eyeing up a move on Brian in towards turn 1 then. Let's see. Dynarod round the outside into turn 10. He's not going to be able to do it. Mr. Osaka peeking for a move further back. JM Devil trying to go around the outside. Mr. Osaka can't quite find a move. Santos. What does Santos really have there? Because that's 2 things he's done in towards turn 1, but it's really not been very good. There's a bit of contact at the back as Rolly tries bumping Mr. Osaka. We're not having a clean race here, boys. Already as OTBC for Can-Am's got down to 14. So we've got nice trainers who all come up through turn 15. It's a big slipstream train, but watch out towards turn 1 again. Let's watch the start again. So, on board with Santos. The lights are on. Lights go off. Santos gets a flying start. You can see he's already pulling up to Mr. Osaka. Mr. Osaka tries to close the door, doesn't realise he's there. And does he just go for a dive bomb? He completely outbraked himself and went straight on there, so I really don't know what he was thinking up at the front. Ruben leaves, and what, 2 seconds already near enough is the gap as Donald tries making a move in towards turn 3 on Brian. Can't quite get moved on. Santos back up into 4th as there's yellow flags further back as Ento's fallen down to 6th as that's Vasilinkov going a bit wide into 7th. He's already got himself into the points. That's brought by Vasilinkov, started 12th. No, he started 13th actually, Ento. It's a solid start by him. Casey's fallen down to 8th. He's known to fall back after qualifying. And Brian had the yellow flags. Can we see why? Brian off at 100R. Was there a bit of contact? I'm guessing that might have been Santos. Don't want to point any fingers, but as Brian starting 10th, I think that may be Brian spinning. If someone can give me an update on that, that would be nice. Anyone in BNR here have any updates? Because he was 2nd and Brian Dino may have hit him, but Santos was in 4th, so I'd expect Santos to be the culprit there. Santos falling down to 5th as we go down towards turn 1. Vasilinkov trying to find a move on Ento. Ento's got a very good exit of the final turn there. He's going to drag race his way down towards turn 1. Vasilinkov though, Ento hasn't got the slipstream, and Vasilinkov also now tugged into slipstream with Santos down in 7th. He could be looking at 2 in 1 turn. Casey as well. Casey's got a very good run. As let's ride on board with Casey. Is he going to watch the carnage unfold there? Vasilinkov tries to find a gap on the right hand side. Down the inside of Vasilinkov. Are you going to try and get 2 in 1 turn? Vasilinkov tries to get them. Santos around the outside. They're going to have to defend. Ento's going to try and find a gap, and there's a bit of contact as they budge wheels as Ento holds 6th, but Santos loses out twice in 1 turn there as he eyes up a move on 5th place. Ento sends it down the inside of Vasilinkov. Catches Vasilinkov lacking. Vasilinkov though holds it together. Doesn't budge Ento off the track. Vasilinkov now into 5th as this train further back. Casey, this is a squabble for the major points playing positions as Brian, after going off, has already got himself back up because this squabbling is causing major problems. Casey tries to get some solid points out of this as he's yet to score in 2 races he's done as he's filled in. Down towards turn 10 then, there's going to be a 5-car battle. All 4 of these places then, from 5th all the way down to 10th. Tim's also getting involved. Vasilinkov, he's through safely. Ento goes through on Santos. Santos, he's under pressure from Casey, and Brian's got himself into 10th as he's past Tim. As they run over Hell Bend, this squabbling further back's allowing Vasilinkov to pull ahead a bit, and maybe Devil's actually fallen down to 3rd, so as Devil got damaged, Devil's just got a penalty, so... Actually, no, Devil's climbed up, I forgot, but Dynarod in 2nd then. He's going to be up that so far, further back. Bit of a tank slapper, synchronised tank slappers there for Brian and Casey. As Santos, he retakes 6th on Ento. A very wide line by Ento, but actually Ento's line isn't on about overtaking, he's trying to focus on exit speed, and he does get it. But speaking of exit speed, it is Casey as we ride on board with him in the Toyota. He's actually losing out now because the power that is in the Toyota ahead and that Mercedes, and the Mercedes of Ento can't quite find it. The power needed down towards Casey, moves to the right hand side very late. Almost Tim has to take evasive action and hits Casey in the rear. Casey falls off after moving on the braking there. I must say, Tim wasn't expecting that. Casey needs to be careful of who's behind him if you're going to try and go for a move like that, Bo. But for 6, the battle for 6 heating up as Ento and Santos going back and forth. Let's see, chat. Div1 is trying to rival yesterday's mess. Brian looked pretty low in 2nd place, probably been, but Brian likes a good race. But Santos, he's getting racy as well. Brian, though, clawing through the field. This is already a good start by the Estonian, as he's got himself into 8th and into the points. Casey, after he ran wide, Tim's going to look for a bit of a revenge after he did a bit of a bump. They're side by side going down towards turn 10. Tim's going to have that move done, I think. He's going to try and fend it around the outside. A bit of contact, trying to avoid what happened between Honk and Phil yesterday. That was a clean move by Tim. Don't want any contact going on. After JD Schneider back in 11th. He's also finding his way into this, and so is Online Kreuzer and OTBC. So, any one of these 14 drivers, 14th is literally 2nd, really splitting every driver until you get to Ruben, who's 5 seconds up the road. But about 2nd, anyone's up for a podium here, as Devil took Ryan to the slipstream of Dynarod. We know that Corvette's got good straight line speed, so is the Toyota though. Tugged into the slipstream and down towards turn 1, so a long run as Devil sets his personal best lap. Ruben though holds fast as that with 1:37.1. Devil, Dana doesn't go defensive, Devil's just waiting, so Devil's doing what Ruben normally does. Ruben's strategy is normally just sit behind Devil, let Devil burn his fuel and do a bit of fuel saving, but Devil's not there. Devil is not there to really feed Ruben. So Ruben's not going to have to play a different game, but Devil He's tucked behind Dino Rod, and now Dino can do the fuel saving what Ruben does. Devil in the off-season learned the tactic, but really allowed Ruben to beat him when he raced. Mr. Osaka, he's also holding tightly into the lead, into second and third, so he don't roll him out for a podium. Vaseline Cox, well, he didn't score last week. He's had a good start and got himself up to 5th from... Yeah, he's got himself up to 5th from 13th. Came O'Brien looking for a move on to Santos. Maybe he was the one who hit him. Maybe there could be a bit of revenge here. Brian's not that guy. Brian was more like to get his elbows up more. Santos has a bit of a penalty. Tried to go and take the switchback move, but he'll have to be around the outside. But he seems to get a good exit from turn 11, but a bit of contact. There's not enough room through that turn 11, 12, 10 and... That turn 10, 11 and 12 section, but Brian's a bit skittish through turn 13 and through 15, and Santos, he holds that move. JD Schneim in at 9th as he's got past Casey further back. But this slipstream train's really allowing everyone to hold on. So at the end of lap 5 then, 8 and a bit minutes into this race, Ruben leads then, 6.5 seconds from Dino and Devil. Devil seeming to be the quicker of the two drivers. Further back, Mr. Osaka, after qualifying a brilliant third, is down currently in 4th. Then Vaseline Cock, after having a brilliant start, started 13th. He's gained 8 positions in the first 10-ish minutes into 5th. Ento as well, he started down in 10th, I believe. He's now got himself up 6th, so that's a good start for him on his debut. Santos, he's in 7th after having a turn 1 incident, which is definitely going to result into a penalty. Brian, he's in 8th after starting up the grid. Was in 2nd after a brilliant start. Then at 100R, I don't know who they're coming together with, as through turn 7 he goes wide. JD Shadaim, he's in 9th, he's qualifying. That Master, he's not spinning it as much, but he's just not having the pace in circuits like Bathurst and like Fuji. Everyone though looking quick today. Brian a bit slow through turn 10. JD gives him a bit of a hit from Bridge just to let him know he's there. But would Devil be helping Ruben? Would Devil... I mean, Ruben's got a big gap, but Devil put it on pole, and Devil, as he looks for a move onto Dino, tries to be decisive, and that's a very good move. Just doesn't have the power for the final turn. That's brilliant by him, but if he's looking for him, he's going to tuck into the slipstream, get the extra run. He's going to bump him down the straight, trying to help him catch Ruben, who's gone up the road. But with Ruben... I mean, Devil was down in 8th at the end of lap 1, after his collision, because further back you saw Santos just dive bomb into turn 1, looked intentional as well, just trying to take someone out. It's very sketchy, very shady with that move. He just sends it down the inside and there's contact. He literally sends it down the inside, and let's actually, we can get a replay of the start, I believe. No, we can't. But Devil, yeah, see at lap 2, he was down in, what, 7th, 8th, claws his way back up, and now he's actually found himself down in... Well, Devil's found himself now up in 3rd in the podium spots. But Devil could actually be in that battle, and could just be sitting behind Ruben right now, and that turn 1 instant may have actually impeded... Well, it definitely impeded Devil, but that also could end up helping Devil, because Devil's now found himself behind Dino, and they're sitting fuel saving. But Devil could actually gain a lot in the pits, and if we compare Ruben to Devil, Devil's actually for once got more fuel than Ruben. It's not much. Mr. Osaka, he's burning his tank massively. Is there contact there with Dino Rod? Was that contact? They're just talking about fuel then as they come up through turn 14 and 15. Is there contact, or is it just a power slide by Dino Rod? He gets onto the curb, he just cuts himself up. Yeah, Dino Rod powers on. He has to power on too soon, and there goes his podium chances, I'm sure of it. He gets his power on too soon, as now Ento's got himself up into 4th, as he's actually got past Vaseline Cock. But he gets the power on too soon, sends it into a spin. That is... Ooh. It's unfortunate. Vaseline Cock not close enough, but JD's looking for a move. He's going to try and get 2 in 1 turn. Look at this group all the way down to 12, just for final podium spots. There's a bit of contact with Brian and Casey at the back. Casey's a bit of a tank slap, holds onto it. As Roddy, he goes onto the Astro strip further back. Down towards turn 3 then. Brian, he's looking for a move on Casey. He's not got close enough. He's going to send it. JD's also looking for a move, but just doesn't seem to have the pace. Tim's further off at the back and Rolly. Tim's going to try and go around the outside here at 100R. Online Kreuzer's fallen back. There's a bit of contact between them as they're all bumping bumpers. It's like a NASCAR race as they come through turn 5 up towards turn 6. Tim, is he going to look for a move? He tries to get a bit of a switchback there. Rolly covers it off through turn 7. Is Tim going to have to run in that Nissan? He might. Very twitchy though as they run down towards 300R. Rolly's going to have them covered up further ahead though. Brian, JD and Casey down towards turn 10 are going to be close enough. No, they don't look for a move, but further back here, then Tim's going to try and go down the inside. Online Kreuzer, Tim's going to have to be careful. Online Kreuzer closes the door on him. And Online Kreuzer then falls back down to 12th. Very sketchy. Kate Dynarod then, he's down. OTBT is also in this group. But Dynarod, he's down in 14th. I mean, think about how close the group was. That group went all the way from 2nd all the way down to 14th. And Dynarod, he's going to have to be careful rejoining the track. If you're rejoin unsafely, takes someone out, that's going to be an instant penalty. But now Devil's got himself in a bit of clean air. Maybe he can put his foot down to try and catch Ruben. Maybe he's doing a bit of fuel saving though. Is that someone going into the pits? That is into the pits. Then came on Brian trying to get an undercut. Remember his drivers last week. Yesterday in Div 2. It was a bronze strategy. Actually, it was Div 3 where Helix and BNR, or Helix BNR Racing, got a podium with Joseph after having a bronze strategy. So what tyres is Brian going to go on then? Fresh Michelin rubber goes into that BNR car. As Dynarod moves up to 13th, everyone moves a place, everyone's going to be happy, and Brian's the first to break. But with how close that group is, anyone can get a podium. Anyone can actually snag a podium here. So Brian just comes out just behind Dino, as Dino actually pitted as well. Fresh Osvo onto that car of Brian. Dynarod, he actually didn't pit after his mistake. So Ruben's on softs, Devil's on softs, Osaka's on softs, Ento's on softs, Vaslincock on softs. Softs for Santos, softs for Casey, soft. It's everyone on softs. No one's starting on mediums, everyone is on softs. But with how close that group is, Brian's now taken the initiative to undercut, or try and get an undercut. Let's see how everyone responds. We saw this yesterday with Div 2. Santos, he squeezes Vaslincock a bit as he moves his way up into 5th as he chases down Ento in 4th. But is anyone going to break then? In this group, are we going to protect the undercut? Are we going to pit Ento? No one aims to pit Vaslincock. No one's pitting, everyone's thinking about it. Casey, I think Casey's into pits, and JD Shadime, he's going to go in with Casey. No, Casey, yeah, he's out. It's a bit of a bait. We saw this yesterday with how long the straight is just baiting people. Going to the pits actually further back, Rolly. So, BNR up to something then. Are they maybe going for a free stop or getting these softs early? Because I know the mediums can last. The mediums can last a long way. Are they trying to do 2 15-minute stints on the softs? Because the softs, the tyre wear's quite severe here at Fuji. It can, the tyres do go out after a long way. But Rolly, just fuel going into that car, so he goes on to medium. So Rolly's the first person to use both sets. Rolly, if you remember, he was in Div 2 and yesterday he disconnected, but he's a full-time Div 1 driver and the BNR reserve for Div 2. Ruben, 11 seconds is the lead after Devil's turn 1 incident where Santos looked intentionally to take him out. They may be, but they may also be trying to bait them into the pits, because that is a smart strategy. Just force them into the pits when they're not expecting it. That would be hilarious. It would be hilarious if someone did that, and it may work. But mind games playing a factor. Devil, he's got a 4-second gap now to Mr. Osaka, as he's got a bit of clean air to worry about, as him and Ruben are a bit different on fuel. Ruben's having a bit of a lonely race. I mean, Devil looked for quicker in practice. He was quicker in qualifying. I mean, there's still 43 minutes in this race to go, but is Devil going to be able to close that gap down? Because it wasn't much of a gap in qualifying, but strategy is now going to be important, and maybe he relies on Vaslincock to hold him up a bit as they're coming through to lap. But Fuji's a wide circuit, it's very easy to lap cars. And Ruben, he's got a fair way to go. Vasilinkov in 5th, but this midfield battle, now everyone's pitting it, straining out a bit. It's Rolly and Brian, the B&R boys, first to break as they come through turn 6. Santos is defending from Vasilinkov. Zento's actually fallen down to 6th, trying to help SVV in the Teams Championship score some solid points. Casey is down in 8th, as JD's actually got past him. As further back, I'm hearing some tyres skidding as there's been contact between the Can-Am boys. I thought I heard tyres skidding. Tim's got a very good run through 100R. He aims for a move onto online Kreutzer, and Tim, that's... No, did they close the door? Let's have a look. Tim, really? Did he need to send it into a dive bomb like that? Let's see, on board. OTBC doesn't have the best of lines for 100R. Online Kreutzer doesn't think about the move. He sees that OTBC goes very late into the brakes, and he even left the space for Tim there. That's entirely Tim's fault as they cause a 3-car pile-up, and now, well, we're getting racy here, I must say. So Santos and Tim going to be under investigation. Casey then, he pits. JD does not respond though. JD, where is JD? In 7th, so Casey, he's the next to pit then, as he's just maybe trying to get a bit of an undercut on the guard's head, trying to close in on them. As we're approaching the next lap, anyone doing the standard free stop 2020, or 2020, splitting the race into thirds of the pit stops, will be next lap, try to go a bit over, maybe get so your tyres don't have to last as long. But Casey then, he goes on to the medium, so he's the second, he comes out in 12th, Rolly further back. Now these guys are all in a group, so where does he come out in comparison to Rolly? He has a 2-second gap. Rolly also took the medium, so he's going to be happy with that. Dynarod, he's now 20 seconds back after his collision, or not collision, Dynarod never really got to speak about that incident at turn 15. Dynarod, he put the power on too soon, and I think it was very much a mistake, an error he was forced into. I wouldn't say Online Kreutzer was being optimistic. OTBC broke so much earlier than necessary. Online Kreutzer got his car slowed down, but OTBC broke so much earlier. Maybe he was focusing on getting the car turned in and having a better exit, but he did not think about defending. The gap was open, the space was there. Online Kreutzer definitely wasn't in the wrong there. There was enough space. Online Kreutzer, even Online Kreutzer and OTBC, they left each other space. That was fair. There was space for him to go for it. I think OTBC may have knew he was going to go for the move, left him space, and then Tim was too far back, I must say. But the gap was there for Online Kreutzer. He got the car slowed down. That was a fair move by him. Ento, he's the next to pit. As now we are seeing the train. OTBC, Online Kreutzer, Mr. Osaka, and Ento, they are all into the pits van. 2 stops for Motorsport West. Ento, SBV, and OTBC are in. Volcano, Mr. Osaka, he's out on mediums, and then who's next? OTBC. Ento's out on mediums. OTBC and Online Kreutzer taking through onto the car, and they all further back after they're coming together, involving Tim. Mediums for him, and OTBC mediums for him. So let's write this down. OTBC, Online, Ento, and who was the other one? I've already forgot who else pitted. Osaka. Was Mr. Osaka, wasn't it? Yes, Mr. Osaka, fresh mediums. So, 6 people down, 8 to go then, when it comes to the pit stops. Mr. Osaka, he's big tank slapper there. He's running currently in 3rd, I believe. Yes, Mr. Osaka currently running net 3rd. Santos, he's gonna want to get into the pits then. All of these guys, I don't remember if Mr. Osaka was actually in this group with them or not, but aiming into the pits now is Santos, I believe. So yes, I think Vasilinkov will follow through with him. Santos, he's just waiting until the end, and he dives in at the last second, and it's a brilliant reaction time there. That was a brilliant move there by Santos, using his brain. Vasilinkov saw him hit the wall, but he doesn't get damage from it as he comes into the pits. But Santos, he made it look like he was baiting. I knew someone would do that. He was making it... Well, Tim's was an optimistic then. Tim might have to hold himself accountable for that one. But Santos, he made it look like he was baiting the slipstream there. And then pulls out and then pulls back in, and Vasilinkov, quick reactions though by the Dutch driver as he also takes mediums. So Santos, we're now over halfway then on the guys in the first stint. It seems like everyone wants to get the mediums off as he comes out racing Casey, as Casey gets pushed a bit wide. Vasilinkov is round, he just about holds on. I'm trying to write something here. Please don't murder each other, it would be much appreciated, but Casey might not like that, and it shows how close it's been in the entire race. I mean, we saw qualifying was close, and the racing has been even closer as they come through 100R. Roddy's also further back. Ruben is yet to pit as he goes on for another lap. Ruben may actually be one-stopping, because if he's known to be able to manage his tyres nicely. He may be able to take the fuel a little longer, but Devil, his tyres are looking a bit worse for wear. Santos so was Vasilinkov. JD's now got himself into third as he's also going as long as possible. He's got a lot of fuel and tyres left, so maybe JD's lack of pace has actually been he's been driving quite conservatively, trying to get a third position here. Oh, not third, trying to go for a one-stop. The mediums definitely can last the whole race. I mean, it was proven the mediums can go a long way, but remember, I have to use two different sets of tyres. So the mediums can go a long way in this race, unlike the softs. Tim, he's also into the pits. Expect him to come out somewhere. Where is everyone else in this group? Around about here. 50 seconds off. Tim, where's Tim? He's... oh, he can't see. Everyone's actually coming down the pitch straight, so Tim's going to be further back out of that group. He may be in Casey's little group. Casey's wards. Casey tucked into the slipstream of Vasilinkov as they try. Casey still desperately tries to get some points. He's still not at his podium yet. He's been looking quick in Season 1. Season 2's not the best as he pulls in. It's a very late move. There's a bit of contact with Vasilinkov. I think Casey, though, runs very wide, making sure he doesn't hit Vasilinkov. If we can get a quick replay of that. Or if it will give us a longer replay, that would be nice. As Roddy's also pressuring Casey. But Casey's tucked into the slipstream. He can go for the move there, as actually Vasilinkov's coming across the line. They bump there, and Casey just, the car doesn't turn in. He gets massive amount of oversteer as he then comes on the AstroTurf, very bumpy, lucky not to spin it there. But Casey's very slidey as him and Rolly now jostling. Casey's now lost about he's now falling off the back of Vasilinkov, but Rolly's looking for a move around the outside in towards turn 10. Casey's penalty, brakes a bit slowly, a bit jittery there, his internet showing its problems, and Rolly just backs off. Doesn't want to really risk it further back. OTBC and Terrible Tim. The Can-Am boys, they're going to want to score some points. I mean, let's have a look at the constructors' standings if it will load. Let's look at the constructors' standings so far. As it won't show. I don't believe it's going to show. Well, that isn't actually... I stand corrected. So the actual points leaders then, after round one, as Tim and OTBC race on, the points leaders, Santdime Racing, JD and Santos' team, Dishadime Racing, they are leading by a point in the team standings with 18 points. Scuderia Vedo Velocitia, or SVV, they're in second with 17. Double C, LNDC with 13, ART with 6, and then Motorsport West with 2, and Can-Am with 1. They're gonna, Can-Am really stuck at the back here. At the start of the season, I thought Can-Am had a strong driver lineup and could potentially make it, could potentially actually challenge for the championship, or the team's championship, but so far, not so good for them. It's not been the best of starts, as there's a bit of a budge. As Brian now, he actually, yeah, the undercut worked. He's now got a 3-second lead to Santos. He would have had to take less fuel. And did the fresh tyres as he comes through 15R. Bit skittish there, holds it together though. But Twitchy further back, Santos, he's going to want to defend for Mr. Osaka. Mr. Osaka, him going a bit longer. His tyres are fresher, but also remember, Brian's also on the softs. These guys are on a medium, so Brian's next stop will probably have to be on the mediums. Vasilinkov, he's going to... I wonder how long he can take these mediums for. Vialdiore, he spoke to me earlier, he didn't believe he had much pace, but he's currently running the 8th. So he's going to be... He should be happy with that. But these guys further back, JD, he's also yet to pit. And this group of three that are yet to pit and potentially going for a one-stop, Ruben, Devil and JD, they can actually make some big moves here. It's very familiar to what we saw from JD at Interlagos last season. Gained a lot of place here, and JD making his way up into the standings. Santos and JD, very good drivers, they just need to be consistent. That's why their team, their new teaming, can threaten a lot for the team championship as it goes a bit deep. Misses the apex at turn 13 as it comes up through turn 14 and 15. With a car as twitchy as the Mazda, you can see he's so cautious through there because that is such an easy place to lose it, as we saw from Dino. He's just so cautious through there, and again missing the apex. He doesn't want to really floor the throttle, doesn't want to risk it too much, because the minute you slam the throttle down, that Mazda is so twitchy at the rear. Just going to be careful about that, which is fair enough for the German. And that gap though comes down with Brian, expecting it's about 30 seconds for a pit stop. But Ruben, bit twitchy out of turn 7, he's in this lap red lighting. Devil as well, he's fuel saved enough, so maybe Dino being held up, or sitting back at Dino, has been helpful. They're not going to gain any time though in the pits, I don't believe, unless one of them does something stupid. Ruben and Devil then in this lap. Probably a bit earlier than scheduled, maybe have to do a bit of a fuel saving moment. Maybe they're not going for one stop, maybe they're doing something funky, but the strategy we've seen so far, these guys may be going for a one stop. But the guys, people haven't really started on the mediums. I mean, at Bathurst it was alright. A few people started on the mediums and it was good. Someone in Div 3 started on the hards, then went to mediums and gained a lot of places. That was actually a solid strategy. But with how twisty and turny this is, and how wide it is as well, it's not like Bathurst where it's twisty and turny but you can hold people up as Devil gets onto the grass. It's just showing that his tyres are spent. And into the pits then is Ruben as expected. Devil will also be into the pits this lap. As yes, see, he pulls to the right hand side. No. Oh, just give us a bit of a bait there, Devil. Actually, just maybe it was like angling that up a bit better, because it's a very awkward pit lane. Carry as much speed as possible. He's probably been practicing that. Shows he's a top class driver. But Ruben's looking quick. I mean, we're not going to necessarily get the biggest race we had for the lead. JD, he continues on as he's past the pit entry. Further back, Santos, I mean, looking at the minimap here, this battle going on as everyone just spirals through in this middle sector. Ruben onto the mediums, you can rule him, you can tick him off. Away goes Devil onto the soft. So Ruben, what we're seeing from people today with the mediums, on the mediums you can take them, you could start on them basically, because the overtaking spot is so long. I mean, it's down the straights, and if you have the top speed you can really defend for it. You can't really overtake on the mountain at Bathurst. That's why a lot of people actually started on the mediums and do them as their first stint. But here, because the track's so wide, yes, it's twisty turny like Bathurst. I mean, Bathurst so twisty turny, you need the grip on the grip is needed, but you can't overtake. So a lot of people decided to start mediums. There was a few people that started on softs. It was a very mixed strategy. But people that started on the mediums actually didn't fare too badly. But here, you have to really start on the softs, because if you let everyone swamp you, yes, you've got the mediums out of the way, and you can probably go a bit, longer. But I don't know. I think you'll need the grip. They take longer to get up to temperature, so at the start that's not going to be good. And especially into turn 1, I think you would just get swamped because of how long it is. How long you need the grip off the start to run towards turn 1. You also need the heat into the turn. I think it's just smart to be on the soft tyre. But a lot of people have then gone on to the mediums for the middle stint, and then, which is fair enough, because you then want to finish on the faster tyre. You want to have the better tyre to get racing with. JD Shadaim, he continues on. He's only 4 seconds behind Devil, as JD, or ahead of Devil, as he's finally pitting. Misclick by Devil. Oh, I think Devil took the wrong tyres, but it's okay. He won't have to. He will have to pit again, but Devil could make this work. But how? We may just have to take these as long as possible and then pit and take them at the end. But he's Devil was definitely going for a one stop here, and he made it. Devil now, if he knows he's gonna have to pit again, JD, speaking of which, he takes the right tyres. Add him to the list of people. We've got 10 people already, so it's Devil, Brian, and who else is on the soft? So Brian, he's on softs, he's going to be pitting soon as he went early, so I think maybe actually this lap or next lap expect to see Brian into the pits. Rolly, he took mediums. Tim took mediums. OT took mediums. Dynarod, he took mediums, and Casey took mediums. So actually add them to the list. So actually add Dino to the list. So it's Dino, Dino, Devil, and Brian. Brian, though, running in third, he's got 2 seconds back to Santos, though, but he will be doing his final stop and taking mediums. He's red lighted, so yeah, box this lap then. The B&R boy is going to be waiting for the Estonian as they climb up the hill in the third sector. So we're going to gain the most time here. This is where I think Brian should just be a bit careful. We know Brian can be a bit of a reckless driver, but especially coming up through turn 15, that's how his exit. That's actually quite clean, stays on really worn softs. Deep into the final turn, going to try and nail the apex. He does nicely. Well done, Brian. And I'm sure if he does pit this lap, let's see, does he go in? Yes, I think he is. Yes, into the pits then. Brian, he's going to be happy with that stint. He's in third. Because Brian's not too bad. Brian had a quick start. Ento moves up to 6. He's having a solid run on his debut. He'll be scoring 4 points here. As JD, well, he's got himself up into 5th with this strategy. That is brilliant by JD, I must say, getting yourself up to 5th. So the one stop may have worked. JD, we know he tries his strategies thoroughly. He does work a lot on them. Oh no! What's this? As I have just noticed what JD's done. JD's underfueled by massively. If you check his fuel, you can see that. This reminds me of the season finale of Division 1. You remember Le Mans? If you were there, it was amazing. If you haven't watched it, go watch it back. But spoiler alert, Ruben looked like he was going to go for a one-stop, and one-stops in Season 1 were extremely rare. Has Ruben done the same? No, Ruben's definitely one-stopping. But Ruben took the softs, 30 minutes, and then he went on to some softs. I think it was softs again, because he didn't. There wasn't the tyres then. But I believe. Oh, excuse me. JD is going to be pitting with everyone else. He pitted. It looked like Ruben was going to do a one-stop, but he underfueled severely, so he pitted with everyone else. Because Ruben wasn't leading that race. Brian was actually leading that race. And then he just got bamboozled by Ruben. Ruben took the lead by a massive margin. So this is JD's effort to gain some time here then, as he pitted with everyone else. Took a little bit less fuel. And he's going to go flying, because when these guys pit, he's gained time in the pit stop by taking less fuel. So what Ruben taking less fuel and then coming out ahead of them, then pitting with everyone else, is how So now JD's looking at running in net 5th. So running in 5th position's actually good. That's smart, because everyone else has gone long on the mediums as well. But would it have been advised for him to go onto the softs for this stint and then maybe floor it a bit? Or maybe he's just going for a bit of a late stop. Actually, no, he won't be because of the fuel. I'm waffling. Ruben, 3 seconds now to the gap to Devil. Devil's doing the same thing. The Germans have been in talks. So Devil's now got that gap down. I think he knows Ruben's one-stopping, and I think Devil's going to go for the mediums a bit shorter. Go for a bit of a shorter stint on the mediums. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Santos, he's running in 3rd position as Brian's actually pitted again, I've just realised. Didn't notice Brian out on the mediums. Yes, so Brian, he's the first to do his 2nd stop. He comes out in 13th. So it is just Devil then to do it. So Brian, Casey, what's happened with him? He's down in 14th. Has he got any damage? I mean, there's actually been no damage this race, which is quite impressive. But Casey's in 14th, a minute and a half off. He's nearly a lap down. See the cars behind him here coming up through 100R. Casey's having a shocking race. Dynarod, he's in top as well. It's a data right off the ART boys, but Rolly in this lap. No, Rolly goes again then. He's going to be fuel saving a bit as we approach the 20-minute mark. Online Cruiser pulls out to the inside line then. He's no defending there by Rolly. He just lifts off a bit. He's probably fuel saving massively as Tim tries to send it down the inside. There's going to be contact. No, I think Tim's got that move done nicely. That's a really late move, but a lot of oversteer there by Online Cruiser. Let's go watch this move back with Tim. Tim tucks into the slipstream. Neither of them have slipstream because Online Cruiser pulled out. I think maybe Rolly went for the move there. Squeezes. Tim does squeeze Online Cruiser a bit. Takes a long time getting slowed down. Bit of a dive bomb again. So Tim's going to have to be very cautious not to get himself a penalty here, because there may be a few people complaining. Devil, fastest lap of the race. So even if you finish your second, he'll be taking as much points as Ruben for fastest lap and pole. So 3 extra points onto the 12. That'll be nice for him. But Tim, maybe he's had a bit too much to drink. Tim does like a bit of beer every now and again, and it's showing. Maybe in his driving as Online Kreuzer goes to get a bit of his penalty done and almost saved him as Rolly, his German comrade, almost runs into the back of him, so don't have to be careful. Rolly's trying to find a bit of a gap as they come through turn 15. Can't quite get it done. Rolly, though, does seem to have a decent exit, but he will be in this lap anyway, so I think he may have actually let them through just so he can fuel save and go a little bit longer, because he did maybe under fuel. And is he going to be in this lap then? I'm sure he is. Get as much slipstream as possible, then pull out to the pits. Vest, in comes Rolly. BNR doing a little bit of a different strategy. That was a clean overtake though, he left enough space. Tim did go deep and then block. It did stop Online Kreuzer from turning in. So, may just be a warning, but Tim's late on the brake antics. Everyone's getting a bit rubby today as Devil's actually... Remember, Devil's also on the soft, so he's actually catching up to Ruben. And maybe Devil just sits in the back, sits behind Ruben, but Devil's also got to go on the mediums again, so what's Devil going to do? Devil's fuel saving. Devil's not going to make 20 minutes on a quarter of a tank. But on these softs, he's definitely catching... He's definitely catching Ruben, so he has put the foot down. He's making the most of what he's got. And Ruben's mediums are younger than Devil's softs, as Devil pitted a bit earlier. Gained some time with the undercut, and then he also underfueled a bit. So I think Devil's had a big mix up with everything. Maybe the wrong tyres, probably the fuel though as well, so he's going to have to work something out here. Santos is only 33 seconds back, and if he's going for a 2-stop, it's all good. But now Devil might just sit behind Ruben and take this as long as he can. Or maybe Devil can try and get past Ruben. But we know Ruben, if he wants to keep up with you, he'll keep up with you. But if he thinks Ruben's going for a 1-stop, yes, Ruben can save fuel in the slipstream. But Devil's also on the fresher tyres, and if Devil just puts his foot down, Ruben will also have to put his foot down and burn his tyres a bit more. If Devil lets Ruben through, I think he might. Ruben goes very wide, so down towards turn 10, Devil's going to have that move done. It's going to be easy peasy for the German. Following as well as Ruben tries to find the gap. Not quite there though. It's not really good overtaking spot to go for a switch back in 11 and 12 up the hill. Is Ruben just going to sit behind Devil? Down the straight, Ruben's going to do some massive fuel saving here, which is fair enough. Ruben, fuel saving is fair enough. We can expect that from him. But through the corners, dirty air is a big problem around here as well. Through the twisty sections, that can cause some problems as they come through turn 16. Down the main straight they go then, down towards turn 1, so long run. Ruben, let's see, is Ruben fuel saving? No short shifts, so Ruben, he is gaining. How much is he gaining? He's going to look for Ruben to turn 1? I don't think so. I don't think he's gaining by much. See Casey in the background there running in 14th and last position. Maybe Ruben could use a slipstream to try and go for fastest lap and take that extra point back, but again, that's going to burn up his tyres. And Devil, as they both synchronise tank slaps as they go over on the grass. Devil through this middle section. Ruben already, fastest sector. Oh, his personal best first sector. But Devil's going to really want to put his foot down, and especially through 100R. Dirty air and the mediums. Devil's going to gain a lot of time here, but down towards 100R. Ruben is Ento's also into the pits, so he's maybe going for just warming up his time in S. Oh, shite, sorry. Still haven't sworn though. Unless you're from Norwich, or unless you're from up north and that was swearing. But no, we're going to count those not swearing. I'm doing a good job today. Devil, through turn 13, Casey and OTBC. As Casey got past OTBC, as Rolly's down. Dino and Ento, they are into the pits. And then the battle for third, Mr. Osaka and JD. Mr. Osaka, JD and Santos, they've caught themselves up here. But up at the front, if I can press the right buttons, down towards the line then, Devil's put his foot down, but the slipstream here is gonna claw Ruben back in a bit. Ruben can do a bit of fuel saving in here. But look, he's not in the slipstream much, and Devil's now pulling away down the straight, even with Ruben just about in the slipstream. So it's right from Ruben's not really putting his foot down with 16 minutes to go. Remember, he's got a fuel save. He's around about on fuel. I think that's Dino coming out in last. Oh, Rolly, that's a big miss! Rolly's internet, this is what happened last time. I expect him to disconnect unless that car can keep straight. And that is Rolly's internet gone. It was looking so good, but Rolly went. So Dino, he goes into 13th. But Ruben, I think Ruben may have been told, Ruben may know that he's going to have to pit again, or that Devil Ahead's going to have to pit again, and this isn't Ruben's battle. They're doing different strategies, and Santos is the first to pit, and everyone follows through Mr. Osaka and JD. Through on softs as well, so the final 15 minutes are going to be a bit of a shootout. Santos has the least amount of fuel to take, but it's not going to be much. Remember, who's going to full tank it? Full tanking, you don't want to do it. Tim and Vaseline Cock, they also follow through, and now everyone's coming through. Online Croatia, and it's going to be a battle for the end. Vaseline Cock and Tim, they have a lot less fuel than everyone else. They're going to be spending a lot less time in the pit lane than everyone else. So we could be seeing a nice battle for the final podium spot. All the way to the end as out comes everyone. And look who's further back as well. Mr. KM O'Brien, he's also joining this battle with Santos. He's out. Mr. Osaka's further back, so I think he may have taken a bit more fuel. JD, he knows exactly how much fuel he takes, and JD's actually got himself into third. JD takes a lot less fuel than Santos did. Santos took a lot more fuel. You really don't need that much for 15 minutes of racing. And Mr. Osaka, he took a lot of fuel. That was unneeded. It's 15 minutes. It's not going to be gone in that much time. So the battle for third and the final podium spot's really going to heat up. JD, Santos, Brian, Mr. Osaka. Who's going to get it? Ento, is he close as well? Mr. Osaka's going to have to put his foot down and use up all of that fuel he's actually put in, but that's a really unneeded amount. We saw that in Div 3. We saw in Div 3 this week as well. I think it was Cam West that threw away a podium by over-fueling. But then the battle for third, we've got a 15-minute shootout. A quarter of the race still to go. JD, Santos, Brian, maybe Mr. Osaka. Who's going to get it? Tim again. Tim actually qualified 8th. Going to hopefully snag another point for Can-Am. As up ahead, Ento is not too far behind. Oh, Ento's not too far up the road either. He's in his slipstream range. But down towards turn 1 at the front then. JD, Santos and Brian, if I can speak. Ruben, the gap's now 2 seconds. Ruben knows this is not his fight with Devil. As everyone's squabbling for position as the timing has been a mistake. Brian, he's further back, is going to want to try and put his foot down and at least close the gap. Santos down towards the inside of the teammates. A bit of respectful racing, I think. Santos... What's going on with Santos here? Let's see. Santos is having some problems here. Took right to slipstream. JD moves across. Blocks it. Santos tries to move as well. Santos outbrakes himself massively. Avoids his teammate. It's rightly so that JD actually moved out of the way then, and now he's going to have to worry about Brian further back. It's only second up the road. So that shootout already getting up to a bit of problems then, as the two Shadime Racing teammates have a bit of a coming together. Santos, he's got Pro on the back of his bumper, but he's really not driving like a pro today. That's the third time this race he's had brake issues. Ento, he's also on the back of Devil, and on the back of Mr. Osaka. Sorry, Mr. Osaka's on the back of Brian. Here's Tim and Ento, the battle for the final points paying positions. Baston Cox up already. You can see him coming through turn 10 in the background there, so he's trying to just snag a few more points here. But Santos and JD really need to keep it clean, keep it respectful, because their teammates and the way it finishes like this. 18 points going the way of them. That'll double their points tally. They've had a brilliant first 2 races. We'll take them to 36 points, and I'll give them a big lead in the championship because SVV first or second. I mean, Devil's gonna have to pit again as he's actually red lighting it, so he's gonna pull ahead of Ruben. What's the gap to these guys in the lead? So Devil's gonna have a solid run. He's gonna be taking 15 points as the way it stands. He's going to be taking 14 points at least, because unless there's a big mistake, it's unlikely he's going to fall out second. And he also got pole and fastest lap. Ruben, he will go ahead, but Devil, he's got to put on some mediums, but he's going to put on fresh mediums. And further back, the battle for 13th case goes a bit deep. The ART teammates, Donrod, synchronized tank slappers again. It is beautiful watching the cars do that. We thought Donrod might have a good race, and then he binned it, and it wasn't. Ruined the battle a bit that we could have had. Out of the pits, Van Devil, mediums, and 40% of his tank filled up, ready to go. What is the gap for that is crucial? 20 seconds. He's got to find 2 seconds a lap. Well, not 2 seconds a lap, he's got to find 2 seconds every minute. So he's got to find about 4 seconds a lap. Ruben, his fuel is looking good, his tyres are looking good. But does Ruben feel confident enough flooring it? I don't think he's got enough fuel to floor it entirely. So he's still going to have to do a bit of fuel saving. But Devil, he's got enough fuel. Actually, has Devil got enough fuel as Ruben? No, Ruben's got a bit less. But Devil and Ruben, Devil could floor it a bit here. He could be a bit conservative and not risk it, but he's got a minute gap to third. So Devil can go all or nothing here and really put his foot down and just try and find it. Remember, if Ruben's fuel saving, he's going to have to be a bit cautious down the straight, as that can actually cause some... If he is fuel saving, he's not going to be in full mode, he's going to be short shifting down the straight, he's not going to be going full pelt, so that's... Devil can gain at least a second there maybe. So the battle, all of the battles going on track. Let's try and find the one coming down the straight. I think it is this. Ruben's actually got himself in traffic, so it's not even a battle, it's just Tim, Ruben. Just a bit of traffic, there's a bit of a lag spike by the Canadian. The only American in this division now. But it's Tim, we love Tim. Tim's indicating, I don't know why, I think he's trying to let Ruben through, but you indicate to say which side you're going on. Because that's you moving, but... We continue on. Devil, 22 seconds is the gap, 9 or 10 minutes to go then. Ruben leads from J Devil and JD Shadaim. One of JD Shadaim's not too uncommon podiums. JD Shadaim, bit of a tank slapper. He's in a podium position. Don't rule Santos out though from having a podium. These two are also tighter on the standings, as they finished in opposite places last week, with Santos taking the podium. Tim goes through onto Brian. Has he gone off? No, Tim's just flying right now. Tim's on the sots as well, so Brian, it's not an easy move, but down into the slipstream, and Brian he's going to be fighting it. Ento, he's gone down in 7th, so Brian tugged into the slipstream. That Porsche hasn't got the best of the straight line speed. Out he comes to the right hand side, then Tim doesn't attempt at defending it, doesn't defend it much, though. He's going to try and squeeze him along. Brian just moves off to avoid contact, very similar to the Bottas-Russell incident we saw earlier. One of them moves across, the other gets scared, but Brian has that move done. Slipstream here is very important. It's a long run down as Ruben's into the pits then. Does Ruben feel like he's got a long enough run? This is interesting by Ruben. Devil, he can floor it. How much time is Ruben going to lose into pits? Because it's a longer pit lane here. Ruben can take some softs. Does Ruben feel like he's not got enough fuel? Because it only looks like it's about 5 seconds worth of fuel. Does he feel like he's got the gap through? He's only going to be taking a bit of a splash and dash. But Devil can really be in. Devil can really fight Ruben here. As Devil's coming down. Has this been a misjudgment by Ruben? Ruben out the pits then. Devil runs down towards the line. It's Devil going to have him. Where's Ruben at? They are next to each other. Ruben How much fuel's Ruben? Ruben takes a bit more fuel, and Ruben's on the fresher soft tyre. So Devil, now it's role reversal what we saw earlier when Devil, we now have a finale. Ruben, you rigging this for us, mate? I don't think so. We have a race on our hands. This is going to be an excellent final 8 minutes or 7.5 minutes, whichever you want to look at it. This is what we saw when Ruben pulled ahead of Devil, but his mediums were a bit more worn and Ruben below fresh softs. Ruben's got enough fuel to floor it, but Devil in the slipstream. Let's see. Does Devil have enough confidence in those mediums? They're not that old. They're only about 7 minutes old. So let's see if the German has confidence to really put his foot down and catch up with Devil. That was a close exit, but as they come through the middle sector, this is where we're already going to see most of the time gain with that fresh softs. As you see, just through the first turn 10, 11 and 12 complex, Devil's going to have to really have a good exit and just keep it in the slipstream. Because the first two sectors, keeping in the slipstream is good, but nah. Ruben makes a good call. It was a risky one, but Devil isn't close enough to really go for Ruben. I think Devil really might have needed to just challenge, send it up the inside of Ruben, and just try and do something, try and catch up and try and get his foot in there, try and gain. See, he's now on the slipstream, he's going to be in a higher fuel mode, he may actually have to pit later on if he doesn't end up fuel saving, so he's gaining in the slipstream, but down towards turn 3, he's going to really have to have a good exit out of turn 1, maximising the track width, but Ruben does get the better exit and down the straights here. I don't think he's going to be able to make it. So it's a real shame. We thought we'd have a battle on our hands, but not quite. Devil probably needed to make a move very early on, catch Devil off guard. Devil, it's not... Devil's not going to be able to catch Ruben now. Ruben's just going to fly. Ruben's got enough fuel to fully go to the end. Brilliant read though by Ruben. That's what makes him such a good driver. He read that beautifully. I must say that was brilliant by the Panamanian. The driver from Panama. 32 viewers, thank you all of you. We're breaking records here on the stream today. It's very nice to see. If you haven't subscribed, if you are unsubscribed, please do subscribe. Or at least consider subscribing. We have 3 races each weekend, and we've got another thing tomorrow which has been announced. Follow our social medias, they are linked in our YouTube description. But the battle for third then, Santos, is he able to keep up with JD? Who's got better fuel? Santos has got a lot more fuel, but he's also got a penalty to worry about and more tyres. So Santos is pushing. That penalty does show it because he's trying to push the track limits, do as best as you can. But with 5 minutes to go, I'd expect JD to have this one. Mr. Osaka's got himself back on to 5th, and Tim in 6th. Brilliant drive by the Canadian, brilliant final stint. Brian's down in 8th. He's going to have to pit again as well, so Brian's actually going to give, unless Brian can fuel save a lot, he's putting Ento under pressure. There's a bit of contact there with Ento, but he gets the car slowed down in time, doesn't really risk anything. But Online Kreutzer, he's also not far off. Well, Online Kreutzer in slipstream range of Aston Cox, so he's within a second. So if Brian pits, which he may have to, where's Dino Rod? If I can hit the right button. Dino Rod's only 10 seconds off. Brian could find himself falling all the way down to maybe 12th here. He's in 8th as we come around the final turn, turn 16. Where does Brian Picks look at his fuel? It's not going to last. His mediums are also spent. Does he go into the pits then? He red lights it. He's going to go for another lap, but he's not going to have enough fuel then. He's going to have to pit next lap. BNR, this is a poor strategy by Brian. He's called this wrong. He's got this terribly wrong, as it's a drag race towards the line for the battle for 9th position, which may actually end up being the battle for the final podium spot. Online Vaseline contrast setting on Online Kreutzer as the ghosting helps there, and Online Kreutzer has himself a penalty. 1.2 seconds, that could be costly in his race for points, but JD and Santos, JD, power on early, it's oh, excuse me, wide out of turn 7. The line through turn 7 is going wide in turn 7, it's the exit of turn 6. So you can't just put your foot down because it is so wide through there to encourage overtaking. And it is a solid overtaking spot, I must say, out of 100R. It's brilliant for side-by-side battles through 100R, but Santos, he's closed the gap to his teammate. He's got rid of that penalty as well. That's brilliant work by the Portuguese driver as they both synchronise, go off track, and that might cost them a penalty. Santos takes the wider line. Can they both hit the apex? So Santos actually hits it better, so watch out for his exit speeds. He almost comes across onto his teammate. Tugged into the slipstream when that Mazda MX, or that Mazda VGT car. That is very good in this straight line, but so is the Toyota. JD backs off. JD might have... Maybe this is a bit of teamwork going on. JD actually has the penalty now, so he just gets a bit of it on and let Santos go ahead. And maybe JD can focus on getting a bit more off his penalty. Further back then, Tim, he's into the pits as he's actually red lighted it. So points on the line for Online Kreuzer as well. As Tim's into the pits, Brian's fuel saving massively. Brian's not risking a pit stop. But further back there is Dino as this does not look good for Brian. Brian, let's see. Max revs it there. He's running in a lot of fuel, and you can see because the revs are building up so slowly, but he's not short shifting. You want to be short shifting because that's going to burn less fuel, but Max revving it here, even if he's in lean mode 6, which I believe he probably is in lean mode 6 to try and get it to the end, he's going to run out of fuel by the end of this lap, and Dynarod and Dynarod may still be fancying a 9th position here. A long lift through the turn. Well, we'll come back to that in a minute, but the battle for 3rd, Santos and JD, the Shadime Racing pair. Oh, Santos catches a curb, spins it a bit, catches the spin though nicely, almost runs into his teammate. JD has to back off a bit. Santos, in my opinion, has the better line through there. Santos, he does get a solid exit, he does have the better exit, but in the slipstream, JD pulls in, and he's going to just speed run it all the way down then for back straight, down towards turn 1. Is he going to be close enough though? I don't think he is. I think JD might be doing a bit of fuel saving here as they go on to the final lap of the race. Brian, he's got to pit. You see, Dino is on the back of him now as it comes down the main straight. He's not short shifting. He could make it if he short shifted, but he's shifting a lot earlier than probably, or a bit later than he probably should. Max revs it there. And this is going to be one of the easiest overtakes of Dynarod's career. It is. And now Brian's just going to hope he can just sit in the slipstream of... Oh no. 3, 2, 1. He puts the indicators on. Brian says effing Fuji, but Brian, that's your own fault for not pitting. That's your own fault for the strategy. Fuji doesn't make your strategy. Fuji doesn't put fuel into your car. You do, and that's your fault. And he's going to run out of fuel through 100R. As actually we see across the line, Devil, he's actually going to be the first to finish, so Ruben just gets a bit of a victory lap. The battle between Santos and JD is going to heat up a bit. It's been a bit of an anticlimactic end to the race, but we might have a bit of a drag race between the teammates here. Devil isn't close enough to try and chase down the 11 seconds of Ruben, but Devil's going to be happy with 2nd anyway. Ruben will extend his lead in the championship as he has practically got the win secured. But Santos and JD down towards the line, then JD tries to get a good exit. He takes the tighter line. He's not gonna... He was ahead briefly, but Santos has the better exit. JD tucks into the slipstream. Is he gonna... It's gonna be a truck race towards the line. Who's got the power? Mazda or Toyota? I think Santos has got it across the line. Santos will take his back-to-back podiums for him after a poor first season. Mr. Osaka comes across the line in 5th as well. That's a brilliant race for him. SVV Ento, he'll be taking home 4 points for his team. He's had a solid run, and Ruben actually got fastest lap as well. So he denies Devil more points. Evan Olds comes across the line. Online Kreuzer and Vaswin Cochrane, finish off the top 8. They'll be taking home the points. Dynarod, he got Brian, as Brian actually falls down to 12th. As he ran out of fuel. OTBC 11th, and then Brian will be having a nice long lap. Let's just he's run out of fuel through the final sector. It's gonna be a painful run down towards the line then for the Estonian. But congratulations, Ruben, it was a brilliant race by him. Ruben takes 3rd, or Ruben takes his quintillionth win in a row here. A brilliant late pit stop. Gets fastest lap. We thought it might be in for a bit of a battle at the end, but Nonetheless, don't rule out Santos getting a penalty though as well, so it's not all over for JD. Follow our socials for the final official results. But Ruben, he wins then, followed by JM Devil after he took pole. He could have had a better race, but it's not necessarily his fault. Everyone a lap down, it says, but that was because of the timing of when the flag came out. Tim says lap 1 a little or too little for fuel. Unlucky, mate. Brian though, fucking Fuji. There we go, we'll get one swear into it. But we went the whole stream basically without swearing. I'm quite happy with that. But just confirmation of the final results then. Congratulations to everyone. Well done, Ruben. He takes his, well, first race win spot. I think it's his 6th, 7th win in a row. So well done, Ruben. Taking another brilliant win. JM Devil in second, followed by Santos rolling out the podium, but he will be under investigation for his lap 1 antics. JD Shadine fourth, but that could change, and so can Mr. Osaka. SVV Ento, he finishes in 6th, and Vaslingcock, he comes across to finish in 7th. Rolling out the points then, or rounding out the points I should say, Online Kreuzer taking more points. It's been a good day in the office for Motorsport West with Online Kreuzer and Mr. Osaka. Dynarod, after his crash, he could have been in the running for a podium, but he will have to continue on to next round next week in Suzuka. Tim 10th after having to pit late when he was in a good spot, and OTBC Can-Am not having the best of races. Brian, after running out of fuel, comes 12th. Casey, he struggles. That was a terrible race for him. He comes 13th. And in 14th, Rolly with his DNF. Congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to Ruben, Devil and Santos. Join me next week, Friday, 8 PM British Summer Time, for round 3 of the GTEL Division 3 Championship from Suzuka. Until